Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of the American Horror Story double feature finale. Now, we spent a lot of this season talking about black pills, who's on the black pill, what does the black pill do. I think from this finale, it's clear that the writers are on something else. I don't want to say what it is because we can get demonetized, but there's some sort of usage going on here.
I was really excited about the idea of this whole season that it was going to be a double feature. So I thought it was going to way back. I thought we were getting back to back seasons of like full seasons. And I was like, okay, so we're not getting that. We're getting basically one feature cut in half. Okay,
Yeah.
I will take that. Then it was like, okay, we're going to have sort of like this felt like sirens or mermaids or something like that from the poster and aliens. So I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
this is gonna be good. I love sirens. I love aliens. And then it was kind of like, okay, we got into Red Tide, and I was like, oh, it's vampires. It's not actually
No.
mermaids. Okay, I like vampires too, and I really enjoyed that first part of the season. But I was so excited for the aliens. I love like alien movies, alien TV shows. I love all the sort of theories about aliens. This is what I was living and breathing for. And oh my goodness, if you like this season, cover your ears. This was a disappointment.
that's being generous if we're being honest.
What did I just watch? What happened?
This was such an unholy mess. Like I'm not saying this needs to be full like burn it with fire territory. Like I'm
No,
not
this isn't the ending of Dexter.
No, this isn't the ending of Dexter, but I feel like I just like took a big hit of something and I don't know where I am. I feel like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow in like a different country wearing like a sailor's outfit or something. Like this was so bizarre.
Okay, before we get too much further in, hit that subscribe button. We're done talking about American Horror Story this season. We
Yeah.
will be back for next season. We also had a lot of other really fun stuff going on at the channel right now. We covered Survivor tonight. So if you're watching that, so are we. We're covering Netflix's You right
Yeah.
now. We have a new review up every single morning. And Succession is back. You want to talk about a show with like some dark,
Yeah.
dark undertones? That is the show for you. It is really good.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this runner about the writers being on something for a moment going because like even Kendall Roy could show up to the writer's house and take a look at what the writers are taking for this season and be like, nope, that's too strong for me. I'm leaving.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's try to get into some of this.
Okay.
So we did have again the beginning of the episode was in black and white, and there was some fun stuff in there. I've been
Yeah.
a fan of all the first half of each episode where it's all the black and white stuff, and we're looking at Nixon and Ike and Mamie and all the stuff with the aliens and all the agreements going on. We learned that there's actually another race of aliens also on Earth, and that they have also made a deal, these two sets of aliens, that they are going to work together so that they are both able to live on this planet together. And then exactly what Ike thought was going to happen, they were going to wipe out all the humans.
There was a lot of fun stuff in the black and white, and I've made fun of parts of it here and there, and how this show has played fast and loose with history, to put it mildly. But
Of course,
yeah,
that whole thing with Nixon's downfall,
yeah, like
it was so well done. Obviously, that's not really what
no,
happened, and that is just part of the ridiculousness of the show. You have to accept a little bit of that if you're going to
yeah,
watch a show.
it was silly, but it was funny in a really just kind of ridiculous sort of way.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, like all of a sudden we're throwing Deep Throat in here.
Yeah.
It just felt like they were like, okay, let's throw every single like major political scandal of like 20 years in between Marilyn Monroe and Nixon. It just, they had a lot of fun with that. I know Ryan really loves like, he loves old Hollywood, but I think he
Yep.
loves like, all of this just 20th century history stuff. And you could see him have a field day with that. And I almost kind of wish this whole season was just sort of that first half, because he would have been able to dive so much deeper into it.
I really wish this whole season was just that and that he just took a chance with that. I know that not everyone loves sort of the old black and white style of film and TV and all that feel, but overall, it seems like the fan base of this show just really loved that. And I just wish that Ryan had taken that risk. And I know that he likes to sort of incorporate younger people because there is a very young audience with this show, but I think that it's a bit of a disservice to the younger audience of American Horror Story to think that they couldn't connect or have a fun time with the stuff that was going on in the black and white portion of the show.
If you are a relative of Mamie Eisenhower, this is my question for you. How are you feeling right now? Because I'm sure there are many of them who have heard about this show over the past couple weeks and are like, wait, what? What?
I'm sure they're having fun with it. I mean, you gotta have some kind of a sense of humor about stuff. So we saw that Mamie has made a deal that where she's gonna live forever. So they fake her death and she's living in Area 51 forever. And I'm not really sure why she actually wanted this. I mean, it's one thing you can live forever and you can go anywhere you wish in the world and travel the world and learn all these great things and just sort of enjoy the flow of time. But it's very different to you get to live forever in this bunker. All the best to you.
Yeah, that's got to be incredibly boring. Like, what are you doing all day? You know, playing like ping pong with like Theta or some other characters that are down there?
Yeah, playing cards and getting a cupcake on your birthday every year. Like, it sounds like she's in hell.
Yeah, all of that sounds terrible. So she makes a terrible deal for herself and she gets to live forever in this weird, terrible compound. And then we see, of course, the whole execution of the plan to find the perfect specimen, and then if you don't deliver the perfect specimen, congratulations, you just get to die.
Yeah, which is actually kind of strange because they set up in earlier episodes that if you don't deliver the perfect specimen, you could still be used as an incubator to have more children. So when Jamie delivered someone who was close but not quite there, and they just killed her, I kind of was like, what happened? Like a couple episodes ago, you guys said that you would continue to use bodies to make more specimens. So what happened here? If she was like really close, then she can get there, right?
The first rule of American Horror Story, there are no rules to American Horror Story. I really just feel like sometimes they're like, oh, should we kill this person or keep them alive? Can you come up with some cool blood effects? Yes. Okay, and then they just do that. That's what I really feel like conversations are with this show sometimes. That they're just like, blah, and they just do whatever they want in the moment.
Okay, and then they had this really uncomfortable situation where basically Kendall gives birth to the perfect specimen. Then they've cut off her head so she can no longer speak because she starts like talking back and being like, you can't get away with this.
Yeah.
Cool, we'll just take away your voice. And we're just going to make you be a body that's going to pump out babies, which of course is something that is just across the world a discussion about women and what women are going through and what women feel like. But in this case, it was just kind of like, why? It didn't need to be done this way. You have a whole like hospital in this Area 51 filled with people. And like they said too, you can't just have one person pumping out all these babies. They still need to have more people. So why not just kind of, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it needed to be this.
I guess maybe they were trying to have that discussion to some extent that you mentioned, but it did feel just very haphazard the way it was kind of put together.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like we have okay, we have this show about aliens, all this like ridiculous sort
Yeah.
of revisionist history of aliens and what has
Yeah.
happened. And it's just so fantastical. And then you're gonna sort of jam in this discussion. Like it doesn't fit in with the story you're trying to tell. Like there is a place for that story that needs to be told, but it just felt like it wasn't given enough time to really breathe and for it to be a meaningful discussion. If you're going to have the discussion, make it meaningful for all of us to have that discussion. Don't jam it in the finale for like 5 minutes and then just kind of like move on. Team Alien, we won.
The other thing that really kind of distracted me beyond just like the grotesqueness of this entire situation was that the quote unquote head they put on Kindle, it looked like it was like a $5 sphere they went and bought at Joann and then they like spray painted it silver. It was like the most weird low budget thing possible. And I was just like, what are we doing, guys? Did we run out of budget for like things early on this season? Did all the vampire zombie makeup cost too much?
Why could you not have been a whole season of just the vampires?
Yes.
Like, I felt like there was so much story left to still be told over there.
Yeah.
And they did such a good job fleshing out the characters and really making me care.
Yeah.
We're in this final episode with Kendall and Jamie and Troy and Cal.
Yeah.
And I just still don't care what happened to any of them. Like, it really was, they were bringing us on this ride so we would get to the end of the ride and we'd all be Team Alien, which is where I was going with this because I just didn't care about what was happening with anybody else, which was kind of a drag.
Yeah.
It would have been a really good push and pull if it was, we care a little bit about them, but we also care about the aliens. And that way we really felt it when Mamie was kind of saying, hey, like we shouldn't all be wiped out. Why can't we all figure out a way to live here together?
It felt like these just 4 characters were almost just a switcheroo that we were told to look this way, look at these characters so that we would be sort of quote unquote surprised when we see Mamie in the present, and then it really shifts and it's about, okay, it's Mamie's story now of how she's suddenly being told that she was fooled this whole time, she was tricked by the aliens are gonna conquer the earth, and it's just like, okay, you know, I guess it's an interesting twist that Mamie's still alive, but I think we have all probably read a lot of sci-fi if we're here. We have seen a lot of science fiction shows. I think the dramatic twist that the aliens want to eradicate humanity, I feel like it's more of a twist if that isn't the case at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like he kind of wrote himself into a corner because there was no way that the humans were going to be the ones to escape Area 51 and tell everybody what was going on. That just felt like an unbelievable ending. So where were we going to end up? Alien domination. This is the path that we were on, and that is exactly where we landed.
Let's talk about the message that we got here at the very end of it, because maybe her head goes kaboom. You know, she tries to stop this stuff, doesn't work out as she thought, Theta's not down for it. So apparently, here is what American Horror Story Double Feature taught us. People with too much ambition suck. Aliens are cooler than humans. Humans suck. That is what we have learned through 10 episodes, everyone. You're welcome.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad humans. You're all sort of vapid jerks that, you know, kick around the earth. You don't deserve the earth. And it's just such a negative message because I feel like there are bad people, yes.
Yeah.
There are also good people that are trying to do what they can to, you know, contribute to the earth. I don't think humans are here wanting to just kick around the earth and be terrible. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but everybody's also not like that. Like there's still, I don't know. The message was just by the end of it pretty negative, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah, and it's just it's such a bummer that it's coming with this show because we have seen, I know not every finale for Horror Story is really, really good, but we have seen satisfying endings
Oh
to
yeah.
seasons of this show
Oh
before.
yeah.
I mean, people love Murder House. I'm on 1984 Island. I love the ending of 1984. We know that Ryan, Brad Falchuk, every other person who works on the show, they're capable of something meaningful and interesting. And it just felt like this format just didn't work for this show.
Yeah, it felt like I ended this episode just feeling bad about myself, where I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh man, humans are the worst. Oh man, I'm the worst. Well, let's go talk about this show where I just feel bad about myself. And it's kind of like, okay, I don't think we all need to be leaving the show kind of feeling like humans are terrible.
Yeah, and I think that just it needed more. If this was going to be the ending, we at least needed more depth to get to this point where we could sort of say, okay, I understand more. I understand the aliens' plight. I understand all these terrible, humans. But it's like, this was all so rushed. It was only 4 episodes.
4 episodes. That is the biggest problem with this. We'll call it a season, but it really is only 1 episode more than the Murder House American Horror Stories, which were all one-offs. 4 episodes. There just wasn't enough time here. So if you're gonna only be 4 episodes, they really needed to stick with some of the more like ridiculousness of, changing history, and it all really has to do with aliens. That would have been such a fun ride for 4 episodes.
I will at least say this. This is better than Hotel. And I say that mostly because Hotel was a full season and I had to deal with all those people for a much longer period of time. This, at least, there were some good moments. It was completely ridiculous. I have no idea what this finale was supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to process it, and it had good moments. The season had good moments. I'm a much bigger fan of the Red Tide story. I did have more episodes with it, so I mean, that probably helped.
Yeah.
It also was all sort of more in a little bottle, and I find that with Ryan Murphy, whenever he gets a smaller cast and he really focuses in on that story, it is like amazing. It is magic in a bottle, and it comes together really beautifully. And then you get sort of this where it's so grand and it's over decades and there's so many people, and it's just like, okay, I don't know where to look, and you've only given me 4 episodes, so I don't know what's happening.
So we're going to go and use the microwave now. Thanks, aliens. But for now, what did you guys think about the double feature finale this season as a whole? What was going on here?
What did you think? Overall.
Okay. I had fun here and there, but I'm leaving the finale unsatisfied. I felt like it could have been so much more. I feel like it's a missed opportunity because the potential was really, really there. I thought it was a really cool idea, and it could have been something more, and that's why I'm let down by it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and we'll see you here next time.